Now, in a magazine Q&A, Monty Python star Eric Idle has said one of the most dreadful things about getting older is that you cry at the drop of a hat. He says, I used to make fun of Richard Attenborough for crying. Now I'm turning into him. I can't remember anybody's names, so I call everybody darling, and I cry all the time. So does that sound familiar? Are we reduced to tears, you know, more often, do you think, as we get older? Is it something that's happened to you?
I don't know if it's got worse as I've got older, because I've never been very good at crying anyway, but obviously there's things like if I'm watching a film and it's a sad ending or romantic or whatever, or, you know, certain adverts or whatever on telly can make me get a bit choked up. But I've definitely noticed it in the men in my family as they've got older, yeah, and especially my two sisters' husbands, who are very kind of always been that northern, you know, men drink beer and don't cry and blah, blah, blah. And then in the last few years, just cry at the drop of a hat, which makes me laugh. But I think it's because with maturity comes that you're not really bothered what anyone else thinks of you, so you can let your emotions out. You know what I mean? And I think it's that with them, that actually they've grown up, where I don't mean they go around sobbing all the time. But like my... oh, I'll have to name him, Richie, my brother-in-law, at my wedding. And he's a real, you know, lads, you know, man's man and all that. And at my wedding, I looked across at my wedding and he was like that. Aww. And afterwards I went, you cried! And he went, I didn't, I had something in my eye. But he didn't, he did.
Oh, Richie,
you know,
you're going to get so much
it.
stick at the pub.
You're a big wuss now.
But it's funny why people think, oh, it's a bit wussy for men to cry. I've never thought. Eamon is
sometimes
Eamon is a very emotional man. He will cry quite easily, you know, especially if it's something to do with the children, if they're ill, or he's very proud they've passed an exam, whenever he talks about them. And I find that really endearing in a man. I mean, I don't want them sobbing every 2 minutes.
I had a boyfriend like that. We used to have a row and he'd cry.
Oh, no.
Why did you say that to me? And I think,
I certainly have more leakage as I've got older, not necessarily from my eyes, per se.
Yeah, when we said Waterworks, we were crying.
But my dad has always been quite emotional, and a few years ago I phoned him up on, well, I don't know what night of the week it was, and he went, hello? And I went, oh my God, what's happened? He said, I've just watched Surprise, Surprise. Anything to do with those reunions. Anything to do with those reunions when This Is Your Life used to be on. And they'd say, you haven't seen Auntie Dottie for 25 years, but we've brought her all the way from 2 streets down from you where you can have in touch with the young. It was just absolutely in bits. But last week, I was having because I've been a little bit under the weather, so I was a little bit more emotional. And because I don't cook very well, I just started feeling really guilty that I wasn't being a proper mum to my children. So I put these sausages in the oven and then forgot about them. Went to karate with Louis, came back, and they were burnt to a crisp. And I just burst into tears at my inadequacy as a mother, to the point that I had to take a photo of them.
Oh my God, they look disgusting.
You could have said that.
Yeah, like burnt sausages.
You don't get smells from the Argos, so you don't know if anything's
If
burning.
you were crying, the children must have been sobbing their hearts out. I think that was there too.
No, they're just
I found when I had children, you know, when I had Jack, I got so emotional. And when I would cry at the drop of a hat, at adverts, and I remember about 3 days after coming home from hospital, there was one of those reality shows, one of the early ones, with Charlie Dimmock. Do you remember Charlie Dimmock from the gardening? And she was doing a reality show about dancing or something, and she got through the semi-final or something, and I was sobbing. I was sitting at my kitchen table going, oh, that's so lovely. I thought, what is the matter with me? Sobbing at Charlie Dimmock in a sequin frock.
What's wrong with you all? I don't know what's wrong with you. I haven't cried since I watched the Lassie film.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Did she?
That wasn't me.
Did she cry at her
my
party?
sister.
Completely. She cried when she made a speech, then her sister was Sister Carol, then Carol was in racking sobs, then Tim sang, she cried again, so don't give me...
Yeah, okay, I did cry, but it was an important occasion and it was overwhelming because I had all my friends there and it was lovely, wasn't it? And I was happy crying. It was happy. I wasn't sad.
Well, you've been outed, because we all thought you were right, old hard face, but no, now we know you're not. Well, listen, this will make you